This is Newcap News with Jacob Zaire.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Moses, we're all kind of curious to see exactly what moves the Bobcats are going to make, if any.
Yeah. Well, trade deadline is on Tuesday. I know there have been talks about maybe a defenseman in there to kind of give them a little bit of a boost going into the playoffs, but it'll be interesting. We'll have more in that in sports.
Looking forward to find out exactly what they do there, Gerard, and looking forward to see exactly what the weather's going to do other than just be completely warm. Wow.
Well, if you're really looking ahead, Tuesday is that possibility when it's really going to be looking like we might see a little dusting. But apart from that, the wind chill not even a factor to consider today, even with the wind gusts, because they've been gusting, yes, but coming out of that area where the warmer air is at the moment at about 37 out of the west. The jet stream, as we noted yesterday, still in our area. So not that Arctic air coming down, but just warmer air. And 66% is the humidity. +2 is where we're sitting pretty at today, actually. We got to a high of 3 just at about 2 o'clock. For the Battlefords, they were at +4. And as we compare across the region, mostly that cloud cover. Of course, today we did have a little light rain in our area, more of the freezing rain in Cold Lake and area. But for the better part of the day, that's basically all she wrote, with the sun peeking out at various intervals. In terms of what's coming down the pike later on, we're going to chat about it a little later in the cast.
An aggressive coyote was shot in North Battleford after it was observed acting aggressively towards people. City bylaw officers were called to the Saskatchewan hospital grounds where a coyote was acting strangely and wouldn't run from humans. Ross McAngus, the city's bylaw enforcement supervisor, said after the predator was shot, officers discovered it had watery, puffy eyes. Tests are underway to determine whether or not it was diseased. McAngus says a veterinarian is testing the coyote's remains, with the results expected by early next week. 3 coyotes have been spotted in North Battleford since the beginning of the week. Lloydminster's first fatality of 2012 came just days into the new year. One man is dead and a woman in hospital with undetermined injuries after the car they were driving slammed into a tree last night in the 5600 block of 50th Street. Police have confirmed the deceased was a Lloydminster resident in his 20s.
At this time, speed is a major contributing factor, as well as some icy and slippery road conditions, and the investigation is still underway.
The names of both of the victims haven't been released at this point. Police say charges aren't likely. RCMP are still investigating why the driver lost control, but expect the case will wrap up within the month. Anyone who witnessed the crash is asked to contact the Lloydminster RCMP. 2012 is starting out with a bang for the town of St. Paul. The 4 candidates vying for a vacant councillor position took the spotlight in a forum held last night. As Clayton Brown explains, the big project on the town's plate this year is construction of the health centre, which is expected to finish this fall.
The election for the open council spot is January 12th. 4 candidates, Roxanne Bergheim, Alice Hertberger, Richard Lavoie, and Norm Noel, are bidding for 1 seat.
These forums are always good for the public to get to know the candidates, and it was a good opportunity for the public to ask the questions of the candidates and voice their concerns and get to know what they stand for.
Mayor Anderson says it's great to see 4 people with so much interest in council step forward.
And that's always been a problem with municipal politics, is to get people out and running. So for St. Paul to have 4 running for 1 position is a good thing. I think it's very good.
The big project on the town's plate is the new health centre. There's some criticism regarding the new building, but construction is moving right along and council is sticking to its guns.
It deals with a lot of healthcare issues. It's bringing up a new clinic and a new opportunity for all of St. Paul to access more services and keep the road trips from Edmonton to St. Paul down. Educational opportunities will be there for health.
Anderson says not only will healthcare be more easily accessible, people may be able to access technology and procedures never offered here before.
We have a group interested in bringing in a bone density scan, a mammogram, an ultrasound, and ultimately an MRI. So if you get that kind of services in the area, that's going to help everybody in this area.
The centre is expected to be completed in September. In St. Paul, Clayton Brown, Newcap News.
Alberta's chief electoral officer is investigating 10 progressive conservative riding associations for receiving possibly illegal campaign donations. The investigation involves allegations the ridings both solicited and accepted political donations from banned organizations, including municipalities. It's illegal for publicly funded organizations to finance partisan politics. PC Party President Bill Smith has promised they will cooperate fully with the investigation. By law, the 10 ridings under investigation cannot be identified by the chief electoral officer. After months of construction, the new Thorpe Recovery Centre is almost ready to open the doors. Construction of the 54,000 square foot building is finishing a little behind schedule. Patients start moving in January 23rd. The public is invited to an open house at the facility next Friday and Saturday from noon until 4.
I'm getting great response, so everyone's really excited. There's been lots of donors in the past that are ready and willing to see what their funds have helped us do. So we're excited to have them.
Construction of the new adolescent wing is still delayed. Those 21 and under will most likely have to wait until May. The new center will house 72 patients along with more detox programming.
This one is set up to be centered around the clients. So the way the center is set up, we have our main nursing station, and from there you can see down all the wings and all the pods to make sure client safety is #1.
Staff numbers are also expected to double over the next 2 years.